I'm Janice McLean. I'm host of Entrepreneurs Edge TV, which is a television program about small business and entrepreneurship. Starting a business is not as easy as we think it is. It really is work. Entrepreneurs Edge was born mostly, again, and I'll go back to my prior business, which was pantyhose vending machines. And, you know, I was an entrepreneur, and initially my ex-husband and I did my first show, and we taped it out of the frustrations and the problems that I was having with getting the pantyhose business off the ground. And so when I did my first show, it was about resources and entrepreneurship and learning how to make things better for small businesses and entrepreneurs. Tell me about Marketing Solutions DOT Exposure Magazine. What's that?
It is a marketing firm for small businesses, big businesses also.
Okay.
But right now I'm attracting the smaller businesses. They're to promote and inspire, showing different ways their company can be of value to them and to their prospects. I share the wow.
I made so many people happy on this other vessel, and this one I find I'm making them the same way.
Okay.
They're so much relieved of their loved ones because I'm letting them. Their loved ones are going back to work.
Now, when you say they're going back to work, what does that mean?
Well, that means they're not going to be buried in the ground where they can't go nowhere. They're going to travel the 7 seas.
And sometimes, you know, the lines are a little blurred when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But when you say connecting people with resources, I think that's really great because most of the time for entrepreneurs, the hardest part is figuring out who to call, what you need, and how to get them all
Where,
work
how,
together.
and
Or
who.
yeah.
Even that there are people that can help you with that. I know when I started my business, gosh, probably 17 years ago, I was on my own.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I was 10.
Doesn't show that.
Looks good.
I was 10. But I didn't have, I mean, you know, and that's very entrepreneurial. I mean, a lot of us, we just kind of, you just
Hunker
do
down.
it. You just hunker down and do it. But had I had resources available or known what the resources were, I mean, it would have been much easier. I probably would have slept, no, never mind.
But you're right.
But it might have been a little bit easier. It might have been a little bit more scalable. I don't know.
Listen, we're through some of the interviews that I've done on our television show, not magazine, which is Entrepreneurs Edge TV. We've done interviews with the Small Business Administration, administrators. We've profiled small business people, high caliber, some not. We've profiled legislators.
Can you say hello?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. That was a big surprise.
Congratulations on your award. Let's talk about that.
Well, you know, the thing is, when I got the information, right away I said, what am I getting an award for? I mean, you know, I hadn't been there in so long, and I was here maybe 3 years ago, and I remember the mayor gave me the Etta James Day for Washington, D.C. I was really happy because I was always really cool in Baltimore and Washington, Brandywine, Maryland, and go to all that kind of stuff.
Are you from Maryland?
No. I just stayed there most of the time in New York. See, and I would always do my gigs and down here and down over in Brandywine and Sparrow Beach stuff. That's when everybody would go, James Brown.
And you are a blues singer, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Hi, we are back with Entrepreneur's Edge live from Nifty Dare to Dream Gala in Washington, D.C. And here with me I have Marsha Rawls, who is one of the Nifty board members, and we're going to talk to her and find out. Marsha, how did you get involved with Nifty?
Well, I had the pleasure about 3 years ago. I worked on as a champion for the gala, and then Julie, who's the executive director, asked me to join the advisory board. A month later, she asked me to chair last year's dinner. A month after the dinner, the founder, Steve Mariotti, asked me if I would join the International Board in New York, and a month after that he said, would you be one of our Entrepreneurs of the Year? So it's really been this great journey of sort of building on the wonderful things that Nifty's doing, and I feel, you know, in many ways very blessed to be a part of the journey of the kids that we serve.
For small businesses and entrepreneurs who create most of the jobs for this economy, and really is essentially the backbone of the American economy, that we deal with, you know, some more than others, taxation, insurance issues, manpower issues, payroll issues, credit funding issues. Banks won't loan to small businesses and entrepreneurs, but how do you grow a business if you cannot get the funding? So there's a lot of things, and I feel that the people who should or say that they're fixing this, I'm not so sure that they are.
And it became a business where we could make $30,000 net profit on a large show in Washington, D.C., like the Communication Network, just renting plants and flowers.
And you're not still doing that?
No, that business got overrun by a lot of people who wanted in it, and they started making offers to associations that were way beyond their means, and many of those people are out of the business now. So we got competition coming out of the woodwork who were undercutting all of our prices, and we finally said, well, we made our money, so we'll move on.
Hello, my name is Michael, and I'm here with Tim Train from Big Cubes Games. How long does it take to send out a regular game per average?
It takes about, well, it's different depending on the kind of game that you want to make. It takes us about 2 3/4 or about 3 years to make a game. We think that the online community is really important to support, and our games in particular, I think, are most fun when played head-to-head against a friend of yours.
Thanks, Tim, for talking to me today.
Sure.
And stand by for more.
Hi, and welcome to the Entrepreneur's Edge. I'm your host, Janice McLean Deloach.
I decided after a career in show business that I wanted to be in business for myself, but you had to have a great idea, and I got one. There is no longer one standard of beauty. It's time that there was a line for women of every color.
Do you have to have a specialized line or niche that makes your company sustain in this industry?
I think I do believe that you do have to have that. You have to have some sort of point of view that women can really relate to.
Today we're here in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill in the Dirksen Senate building. We're talking about Wow Facts. It's women on diversity and diversity issues. Tell us what brings you to Wow Facts today.
Well, I believe that it's important for America's workforce to reflect our American society.
I'm here again to support the women really making a difference. We are there daily, and I think it's very important that we step out and have a voice.
In my role, I find the data from this book that they put out annually to be invaluable in sort of furthering the cause that I have been charged with at Merrill Lynch, which is to build new business for Merrill within diverse and multicultural communities.
And the history of Marvin McDowell and in the background and Umar's boxing.
Well, As you said, my name is Marvin McDowell. I'm the founder, president, executive director of the Umar Boxing Youth Development. No Bookstore Books. We're one of the first boxing programs possible in the world with a legitimate educational component, where the boxing and the books are going at the same time under one roof.
You know, we started the Businesswomen's Network only in about 1993, and we track now 7,000 women's organizations representing some 39 million women. So women love the network for their advancement.
What is the mission of the Small Business Administration?
Well, you know, the mission really hasn't changed in 53 years. It's to aid, counsel, assist, and protect all small businesses. And you know, there's 25 million small businesses in the United States, and we accomplish our mission through our programs, which are really capital access, entrepreneurial development, and government contracts.
I have Ms. Sharon Roberson-Pender, who is the Special Secretary for the Governor's Office of Minority Affairs. I'd like to welcome you and say thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about your office and what your position is with the Governor's Office of Minority Affairs.
Certainly. The Governor's Office of Minority Affairs is the principal advocate for the state's women and minority-owned businesses. As you probably know, there are 82,000 minority-owned businesses in the state of Maryland and 128,000 women-owned businesses.
Wow.
So collectively, that's over half of all business firms in the state of Maryland. So we act as the advocate and primary support for those businesses, and we also primarily act as the body that oversees the Minority Business Enterprise Program for the state of Maryland.
How does eBay help in relation to small business people?
eBay is actually a very small business-driven marketplace. A lot of our sellers are small businesses and buyers as well. And what small businesses use eBay for is a couple things. First of all, is to reach out to a much broader audience for their products. Sometimes it's hard as a small business to make a go in a local market, go of it. But on eBay, you can reach out not only nationally, but also globally if you'd like.
I come from an entrepreneurial family. I do. My mother and father owned a restaurant. It's called McLean's Carryout. I did fashion shows at one point, and then I did talent shows at another point, and then I did the pantyhose vending machine, and then I, what else did I do? Then we did the TV show. We started on that. So, but it's always been, how could I improve from one area to another area, and all of them related. They were always related to entertainment in some way.
What is so important to me is that I want more Yahoos and Googles and eBays and Amazons to happen. And what was important about those companies is that they didn't have to get permission from every ISP in the world. They didn't have to negotiate with every ISP in the world. They just put their services up on the internet and made them available. Now, sometimes lots of people try that and it doesn't work. Maybe the product isn't any good. But what you want is no barrier or low barrier to trying these new ideas out. And as long as the internet remains open in that respect, it will be a sort of a petri dish for new entrepreneurial ideas.
But those who are starting out, it's just first they have to do their research and their homework. That's the number one thing. Help them to understand, is there a business there once they invest all this money and time? And so they have to do their homework and research first. And then the second thing is probably just where is the capital to help them get started. And, but I would tell them, instead of looking for the government and banks sometime, invite and start an investment club. There's other ways to try to help them to start their business, and then from there they can seek other means of financial to grow their business or take it to the next level.
Which started in 2005 and should expire in 2013. This BRAC here is larger than all of the previous BRACs combined in history. And BRAC, again, is just basically just reorganizing, reposition the military.
What women inspire you today?
Oh, definitely Oprah. You know, I think she writes her own ticket each and every time, and she uses her ability and her power for the good of humanity.